Okay, this is, it's not even, I can't think of the word. Comment, I doing this one. Like and I can't get the last part right. Yeah. Hi, I'm Londyn. Welcome back to my channel now. We are here for tea time with Londyn. And one, I know this isn't tea, but it's close enough. Two, I'm not actually spilling any tea, but this is what I'm going to call my story times because I actually have a tattoo of tea. It seems suiting. Today is a story that gave me the most stress I've ever had. It's not even an exaggeration, okay? This is the story time of how I almost didn't graduate twice. Let's get into it. It's actually a 2-in-1 kind of story time, you know. It was gonna only be one, but I thought it was suiting to have both. I almost didn't graduate at both times for crazy reasons. So when I was in high school, I did dual enrollment. I did college classes, so I actually graduated college before I graduated high school because overachiever. So all my classes were online, and I was taking philosophy. That's the class that did it. So on his test, they were all multiple choice except for one short response. They weren't proctored or anything. I literally took them on my computer. No lockdown browsers, literally like a quiz, right? So I used the textbook for an answer, and apparently that wasn't allowed. So 2 weeks, like after the test, a week before graduation, there wasn't a final. I think I had to write an essay for the final, so it's just a normal test. It wasn't like the final exam. I got an email from my teacher, and he's like, "I'm so sorry. This email was supposed to go out 2 weeks ago, but it didn't send. But you got caught for plagiarism." And I was like, what? So I emailed him back, and I was like, I'm supposed to graduate. I'm supposed to walk like this Friday. I need this class because like if you got caught for plagiarism, you got like a 0 on the test and like F in the class, right? And I was like, I can't. So he was like, okay, there's a plagiarism session today because apparently when you get caught, you have to go to some session about it, and they talk about why you shouldn't do it. And he's like, I'm hosting it. Come in today. It starts at like 1 o'clock. And we'll figure something out, right? So I checked out of school, missed my final exam in high school, went 40 minutes to the college, right? This is what I did online. 40 minutes there. You're supposed to pay for the session too, apparently. Everybody else showed up with like packets and stuff. And he's talking about paying, and I was like, I don't have any of this. I didn't do that. And the whole session, my teacher that caught me for plagiarism is talking about why you shouldn't plagiarize. And I was like, God, this is freaking awkward. And he's talking about philosophers, and I was so worried he's gonna be like, do you know this philosopher? I'd be like, no, because I didn't learn anything in the class. And so after class, he was like, write the essay, because like they got an assignment, like you had to write an essay about why you shouldn't cheat. He's like, write the essay, email it to me. You're still gonna get a 0 on the test, but I'll make sure you graduate and like make sure you pass the class and you graduate. So I said, cool, I did it, right? When you put that 0 in the grade book, it brought me down to a D, which isn't passing, but he went in and changed that to a C, and I walked and I was like, ooh, yeah, got away with it. But no, it was very stressful. I hated that time. So now, fast forward to like what, two or 3 weeks after, when it's high school graduation time, I have turned in all of my textbooks late my entire life. They've always been late. Every library book I got, I turned it in late. It's my kind of thing, right? So at graduation practice, they give you a number of like where you're supposed to sit in the row, and it has like, yeah, like normal, right? So, but on the back of it, it gave you a number if you had any money due, like library fees, late textbooks, right? Lunch money, like all those things, right? So on the back of mine, it said like $300 something, and I was like, excuse me, what? They were like, oh, you haven't turned in your textbooks, right? So I was like, okay, no big deal. I'll turn it in. Couldn't find them, literally lost them. I was freaking out, okay? I literally couldn't find them. So finally I went to school one day on like a Saturday, right? Because teachers are there Saturday sometimes, to search for this textbook because I was like, I'm pretty sure I lost it in the library or in like the yearbook classroom, so I was always in there. I was like, it's somewhere, so I'm searching around. My teacher accidentally put it on a shelf, and that's why I couldn't find it. So I got it, right? And we called them up and they're like, hey, literally my graduation is the next day, right? And they're like, hey, yeah, we're open tomorrow until like 3, I think it was 3 or 4. My graduation was at like 5, something like that. And so I was like, cool, I'll just go into town early. I'll drop off the textbooks. No big deal, because I couldn't turn them in to my school because it wasn't their textbook. It was a college textbook. And so I was like, okay, no big deal. $300 college textbook. Yeah, so we'll turn it in. I'll get there early, I'll turn it in. No big deal, fine. I get there early. It's like, say, I think we'll say they closed at 3, right? So I got there at like 2:30. It was like 30 minutes before they closed. There was not a single person on this entire campus. Nobody was there. Nobody was there. I was tempted to leave the textbook on the floor, like in front of the door, and be like, here, it's not mine, you, right? So like, the reason this was panicking to me was because if you don't have your fines paid off, you don't get your degree until you pay them or like turn it in, right? And I didn't tell my mom about a single one of these stories that I'm telling you now. She doesn't know a single one of them. Still doesn't. To this day, doesn't know about it. I was panicking. I was about to leave on the door. So I showed up, I went to my bank, pulled out $300 something, however much it was, right? Out of my savings too, right? Pulled it out, and I show up to the graduation ceremony, go up to the guide, whatever she is, the finance person of my high school, and I was like, I have the textbook with me, and I have the money with me. Which one do you want to give me my diploma today? She's like, we can't do that. She's like, you have to turn it in to there, or you have to pay them. And I was like, no. We were all going out to dinner with my friends. I literally was like, none of you got your diploma, okay? Not a single one of you are taking pictures with it. You don't pull it out. We can't tell my mom that I didn't get mine, okay? So I'm panicking, I walk across stage, blah, blah, blah. They give me the empty thing. You're supposed to get your diploma after. Like, we literally pick it up. So my school's cheap. The honors cords they give you, you turn them back in. You literally just borrow them. So I go and I turn in the tassel, and it was my old teacher, right? That she was handing out them and taking the tassels. She was like, oh, Londyn, okay. Handing me my diploma without checking the list. And I was like, you're the greatest, right? I didn't say anything. I was like, thank you. Left. I bolted out of there before anyone could say anything, right? And come to it. When I showed my mom, I was like, look at my diploma. She's like, wow, I thought they mailed it to you. I didn't even know you got it today. I was like, wow, I could have got away with it. But I got my diploma. I didn't have to spend the money, and I still have the textbook. So that's the reasons I almost didn't graduate. I feel like this was a very underwhelming story time, tea time, very underwhelming tea time with Londyn. But you know, it's a fun story. Don't plagiarize, and turn in your textbooks. Because I didn't do either of those things. So, hope you enjoy. Like and subscribe. Turn on that little bell icon to get notifications, because I'm going to be trying to post these every week now. We're doing good so far. See you next week. Bye!